The rain fell in relentless sheets over the bustling city of Evergreen, where skyscrapers loomed like indifferent giants and the streets pulsed with the hurried rhythm of lives too busy to notice the shadows in between. Amid the suburban chaos, at a weathered bus stop on the corner of Elm and Fifth, sat Alara Voss, a 24-year-old woman whose once bright eyes now reflected the weariness of endless nights under bridges and in alleyways. Her hair, a cascade of unkempt auburn waves, clung damply to her face, and her clothes of faded jeans and a threadbare hoodie offered little protection against the chill that seeped into her bones. Alara had been homeless for 3 years now, ever since a fire claimed her family's modest apartment, and her parents lived in one cruel twist of fate. Orphaned at 21, with no relatives to turn to and a mountain of medical bills from her own injuries, she had spiraled into the unforgiving grip of the streets. Days blurred into scavenging for food in dumpsters, dodging judgmental stares, and whispering silent prayers for a break that never came. She dreamed of stability, of a warm bed and a job that didn't judge her by her appearance, but reality was a harsh teacher, reminding her daily that hope was a luxury she couldn't afford. Tonight, as the bus delayed yet again due to the storm, Alara stared at the puddles forming at her feet, each ripple a mocking echo of her turbulent thoughts. She thought about the shelter she had been kicked out of last week for overstaying her welcome, the friends who had vanished when her luck ran dry, and the gnawing hunger that twisted her stomach into knots. Little did she know, fate was about to introduce her to a spark of light in the form of a child whose innocence could shatter walls built from years of hardship. Across the street, in a cozy brownstone apartment, lived Mia Harper, a precocious 6-year-old with curly blonde pigtails and a smile that could melt the iciest heart. Mia's world had been upended 6 months ago when her single father, a dedicated firefighter named Jack, succumbed to injuries sustained in a blaze not unlike the one that had scarred Alara's life. Left in the care of her elderly grandmother, Leela, who struggled with arthritis and fading memory, Mia navigated her grief with the unfiltered honesty only a child possesses. She missed her daddy's bedtime stories, his booming laugh, and the way he called her his little hero. School days were lonely, filled with whispers from classmates about her sad story, and nights were haunted by dreams where she searched endlessly for a family that felt whole again. Leela did her best, baking cookies and singing old lullabies, but her frailty meant Mia often fended for herself, learning to tie her shoes and pour cereal with a maturity far beyond her years. On this particular evening, as thunder rumbled like distant drums, Mia had convinced her grandmother to let her wait at the bus stop for Leela's friend who was supposed to pick them up for a doctor's appointment. Dressed in a bright yellow raincoat that swallowed her small frame, Mia clutched a stuffed bear named Mr. Whiskers, her constant companion since her father's passing. She swung her legs from the bench, humming a tune her dad had taught her, oblivious to the stranger sharing the space. But Mia's sharp eyes noticed everything: the way Alara shivered, the emptiness in her gaze, the way she hugged her arms as if holding herself together. Curiosity bubbled within Mia, that pure, untainted wonder of childhood that sees possibilities where adults see barriers. She tilted her head, studying Alara like a puzzle waiting to be solved. The bus stop was a microcosm of the city's contrasts: hurried commuters with umbrellas dashing by, a street vendor packing up his cart, and the occasional honk of impatient cars. Alara, lost in her reverie, barely registered the little girl's presence until Mia scooted closer, her rain boots splashing in a puddle. "Hi," Mia said softly, her voice cutting through the rain's patter like a gentle melody. Alara glanced up, startled, her defenses rising instinctively. People didn't talk to her, they avoided her, assuming the worst. But there was no judgment in Mia's eyes, only a sparkle of genuine interest. "It's really wet out here, huh?" Mia continued, undeterred. Alara nodded faintly, murmuring a quiet yeah. The conversation could have ended there, a fleeting interaction in a sea of anonymity, but Mia, with her boundless energy, pressed on. She talked about her bear, about how he was afraid of thunder but brave like your daddy, and about the cookies her grandma made that tasted like hugs. Alara found herself listening, really listening, for the first time in months. The child's words were a balm, reminding her of simpler times before loss hardened her heart. As the rain eased slightly, Mia's grandmother called from across the street, her voice frail but insistent. "Mia, come inside, dear. The bus is late." But Mia lingered, her small hand reaching out to pat Alara's knee. "You look cold. Do you have a home?" The question was innocent, but it pierced Alara like an arrow, stirring emotions she had buried deep. She shook her head, tears mixing with raindrops on her cheeks. Mia's face crunched in thought, and then, with the wisdom of someone who had lost too much too soon, she uttered those life-changing words, "You need a home, and I need a mommy." The statement hung between them, raw and profound. As the bus finally rumbled into view, Alara's heart raced, a flicker of something she hadn't felt in years, a hope igniting within her. Mia waved goodbye as she scampered away, but the seed had been planted. That night, Alara couldn't shake the encounter. She wandered to a nearby park, finding shelter under a gazebo, her mind replaying the girl's words. What if kindness could bridge the gaps between stranger and savior? Meanwhile, back in the brownstone, Mia chattered to her grandmother about the sad lady at the bus stop, insisting they had to help her. Leela, touched by her granddaughter's empathy, listened intently, her own heart softening. The next day dawned brighter, the storm having cleared to reveal a sky painted in hues of promise. Alara returned to the bus stop, not for transportation, but drawn by an invisible thread. She sat on the same bench, her backpack lighter somehow, as if the weight of isolation had lifted just a fraction. Hours passed, and just as doubt crept in, Mia appeared, skipping hand in hand with Leela. The little girl's face lit up like sunshine. "You're back," she exclaimed, pulling her grandmother forward. Introductions were made, halting at first, but Leela's warm smile eased the tension. She invited Alara for tea, a simple gesture that felt monumental. Over steaming cups in the cozy kitchen, stories unfolded, Alara's tragedy mirroring Jack's in eerie ways, bonding them through shared sorrow. Mia watched with wide eyes, her intuition proven right. Days turned into weeks as Alara visited more frequently, helping with chores Leela couldn't manage, reading to Mia, and slowly rebuilding her own shattered confidence. She found a part-time job at a local cafe, tilde copyright, encouraged by Leela's references, and the brownstone became a sanctuary. But challenges arose. Alara's past demons of doubt, fear of attachment threatened to pull her away. One evening, after a particularly rough day, she confided in Leela about her insecurities. "I don't know if I can be what she needs," Alara whispered. Leela placed a gentle hand on hers. "Kindness isn't about perfection, dear. It's about showing up." Mia, overhearing, crawled into Alara's lap. "You're already my friend." "That's like a mommy start." Tears flowed freely then, healing ones that washed away years of pain. As bonds deepened, legal steps were taken in guardianship discussions, therapy sessions to formalize what hearts had already decided. Alara moved in, transforming the spare room into her own, and the trio formed an unconventional family forged in empathy. Mia's laughter filled the home, Leela's burdens lightened, and Alara rediscovered purpose. Yet, the story wasn't without its hurdles. Neighbors whispered, bureaucracy dragged, but their resilience shone through. One poignant moment came during Mia's school play, where Alara cheered from the front row, her applause the loudest. Mia beamed on stage, dedicating her performance to "My New Mommy." The audience, unaware of the backstory, felt the emotion ripple through the room. Alara realized then that home wasn't a place but people who shows you. As Chapter 1 draws to a close on this foundation of unexpected connection, the true depth of their journey awaits, promising more tears, triumphs, and the unbreakable power of kindness. With the foundation laid in the warmth of newfound family, Alara's integration into Mia and Leela's life blossomed like spring flowers after a long winter. But the path ahead was strewn with thorns that tested their budding bond. Alara woke each morning in the spare room, now adorned with thrifted curtains and a bedside lamp, marveling at the miracle that had unfolded from a single rainy encounter at the bus stop. She threw herself into her role with fervor, preparing breakfast for Mia, pancakes shaped like hearts, and assisting Leela with her educations, her hands steady despite the tremors of uncertainty that still plagued her nights. Dreams haunted her, visions of fire and loss mingling with fears of inadequacy. What if she failed them? What if the streets reclaimed her? But Mia's unwavering faith acted as an anchor. The little girl, with her endless questions and infectious giggles, drew Alara out of her shell. "Tell me about your adventures," Mia would beg during evening story time, curled up with Mr. Whiskers. Alara shared sanitized tales of survival, framing them as quests of bravery, inspiring Mia to draw pictures of superhero Alara battling dragons of despair. Leela observed with quiet pride, her arthritis easing under the lighter load, allowing her to knit blankets that symbolized their woven lives. Yet, external storms brewed. Social services, alerted by well-meaning school officials, scrutinized the arrangement. Interviews probed Alara's past, unearthing records of her homelessness and questioning her stability. "We're building something real here," Alara pleaded during one tense meeting, her voice cracking. The caseworker, a stern woman named Miss Reynolds, softened slightly at Mia's interjection. "She's my mommy now. Please don't take her away." Tears welled in everyone's eyes, and temporary approval was granted, but with conditions: counseling, job verification, and home visits. Alara doubled down, excelling at the Café Tilde copyright where her manager praised her diligence, even promoting her to shift leader. Tips accumulated, allowing small luxuries like a trip to the zoo, where Mia's eyes widened at the lions, declaring, "They're strong like you, Alara." Moments like these fortified their resolve, but internal conflicts simmered. One stormy night, echoing the evening they met, Alara's doubts boiled over. Packing her backpack in secret, she whispered goodbye to the sleeping house, convinced she was a burden. Slipping out into the rain, she headed back to the bus stop, the bench a cruel reminder of her origins. But fate intervened again. Mia, woken by thunder, noticed the empty room and alerted Leela. They dashed out, umbrellas forgotten, calling Alara's name. Finding her huddled there, Mia threw her arms around her. "Don't go. You need us, and we need you." Alara broke down, sobs mingling with rain, as Leela added, "Family isn't about blood, it's about choice. We choose you." That pivotal reconciliation marked the turning point, strengthening their unity. Therapy sessions followed, where Alara unpacked her trauma, learning to embrace vulnerability. Mia, too, processed her grief, drawing parallels between her daddy's heroism and Alara's quiet strength. Leela shared stories of her own youth, fostering generational wisdom. As months passed, milestones piled up. Mia's 7th birthday party, where Alara baked a cake from scratch, friends marveling at the cool new mom. Leela's improved health, crediting the joy in the home. Alara's enrollment in night classes for Aged, dreaming of social work to help others like her. Community rallied around Emma. A neighbor organized a fundraiser for legal fees. The Café Tilde copyright hosted a kindness drive in their honor. But not all was smooth. A relapse of Alara's anxiety during a home visit led to tense words, but open communication mended fences. Mia's school project on what family means featured Alara prominently, earning an A+ and touching the teacher's heart. Holidays brought magic. Thanksgiving dinner with makeshift traditions, Christmas lights strung with care, each ornament a memory. Alara gifted Mia a locket with her photo, symbolizing permanence. Leela watched, tears of gratitude flowing, whispering, "Jack would be proud." Challenges persist. Heat of financial strains, health scares, but kindness prevailed. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching fireflies, Mia reflected, "Remember the bus stop? That's where our story started." Alara nodded, heart full. "And it's far from over." Legal adoption proceedings advanced, with Miss Reynolds advocating on their behalf. Moved by their progress, the courtroom day arrived, nerves taut, but testimonies of transformation swayed the judge. "Granted," he declared, banging the gavel. Cheers erupted, hugs enveloping them in a cocoon of love. Alara, now officially Mia's guardian alongside Leela, felt the weight lift. Life normalized, school runs, family game nights, quiet evenings of reading. Alara volunteered at shelters, paying forward the kindness that saved her. Mia thrived, her grades soaring, friendships blooming. Leela, rejuvenated, gardened with vigor. Their story rippled outward, inspiring articles in local papers headlined "From Bus Stop to Forever Home, a tale of unexpected kindness." Strangers reached out, sharing similar experiences, fostering a network of support. Yet, in quiet moments, Alara returned to the bus stop, not in despair, but gratitude. leaving flowers as a tribute to serendipity. Mia joined her once, saying, "This is our magic spot." As years hinted at unfolding of Mia's graduations, Ilara's career growth, Leela's golden years, so their bond remained unbreakable, a testament to how one child's words could heal two souls. In the end, the hook that began it all circled back, that tiny voice at the bus stop, proving that in a world of chaos, kindness builds homes where hearts align. And so, their journey continued, a beacon for all who believe in second chances.